please. Okay. Here's what I want you to... you don't have to write this down. Just think about this. Has there ever been a time when you prospected for 3 hours a day for 2 weeks and you didn't get a listing appointment? Has there ever been a time like that? That happens, right? Okay. Has there ever been a time when you've presented 2 or 3 offers and you didn't get one through? Has that ever happened? That happens too, right? Has there ever been a time when you might be working with 3, 4 buyers, what look like really good buyers, and you get offers out of them, and then all of a sudden, the last minute, they decide and none of them end up buying a house? Has that ever happened to you? And have you ever gone to a for sale by owner and have they rejected you at the door? Has that ever happened to you? Okay. And how about expireds? Have you ever followed up on an expired listing only to find out that they didn't list with you, or they didn't list with anyone, or they said they weren't going to list, but then 2 or 3 weeks later, they listed their house with somebody else at a really good price? Has that ever happened to you? So here's the question now. Have you ever worked out for an hour or 2 on the treadmill, and then at the end of that period of time, realize that you didn't lose 3 pounds? Has that ever happened? So write down this word, discouraged. Discouraged. Stuff happens, stuff doesn't happen, and you get discouraged along the way. Right? Say yes. Yes. We all get discouraged. If you prospect for 2 or 3 hours, 2 or 3 days a week for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and you don't get anything from it, you tend to start getting a little discouraged, some more than others. If you work out on a regular basis, or you work on your diet after a while, and you're not losing weight at the rate that you want to lose it at, you start to get discouraged. I wrote down here, we will get discouraged. You should write that down. You see, that's our reality. We will be discouraged. We will be disappointed. People will let us down. Systems that we have put in place might not work for us during the period of time that we're trying to get them to work. With regard to discouragement, write this down. How easy, when you get discouraged, how easy is it for you to be stopped? When you get discouraged, how easy is it for you to get stopped in the process that you're on? Or another way to look at it is, how hard are you to stop when you get discouraged? Reality, we're all going to be discouraged. We all have that in common. It's going to happen. I think sometimes when you get discouraged, you look at discouragement like it's your personal thing. Like discouragement doesn't happen to anyone else. We're all discouraged. We all get discouraged daily. Daily in different levels. So how easy is it to stop you? How hard are you to stop? So I wrote down here, I will get discouraged. So write that down. I will get discouraged. I will get discouraged. Write it down. I will get discouraged. Then I want to write you to right below it, it will happen. Write down below, I will get discouraged. Write down below that, it will happen. And then I want you to write below that, so what? So what? So what? I'm going to be discouraged. So is everybody else. We're in the boat together. I'll be discouraged. Okay, so those 4 buyers aren't buying from me. Okay, I'm discouraged. What are you going to do about it? So what? I'm going to move forward. You're going to let it stop you? You're going to let it stop your movement forward? See, here's the issue. Here's the truth. The truth is you do let it stop you. Some of you let it stop you sooner than you should. Discouragement. We're all going to be discouraged. We all are going to run into things that we're not going to be happy about. We've got to come up with the attitude of, so what? So what? Paul Meyer wrote down, 90% of those who fail, 90% of people who fail are not actually defeated. They just quit. 90% of people who are defeated are not actually defeated. They just quit. They got discouraged and they put their tail between their legs and they went the other way. Okay, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. Tough market, yes or no? Yeah, tough market. Let me ask you another question. Some of you have come from companies that are no longer in business. Some of you know people in the business who are no longer in the business. They let it get to them. And yet, in those markets, during those times, through focus, consistency, commitment, and the fact that, yes, I was discouraged, but I didn't let it stop me, and I won't let it stop you. And during that period of time, we grew, and we're growing, and we're growing, and we're growing, and you're growing, and you're doing business, and you're becoming better agents, better people, more money in your pocket, more money in your bank accounts. Okay, we had some rough times. So what? So what? Write that down. So what? You know, ladies and gentlemen, what are the options today? Curious. Your goal is to make $200,000 a year. Let's say your goal is to make $200,000 this year. That means that you are going to make $16,000 per month. Okay? $16,000, $16.33 per month to be exact. Okay? So let me ask you something. I'm just curious, just between us. Don't anybody else listen. How many jobs out there, you don't have to raise your hand, how many jobs out there are they for you that will pay you $16,000 a month every single month right now? How many? Nothing out there, is there? One opportunity. And that's the business we're in. You want to make $200,000 in this business? You can do it. You want to make 3, 4, 5? You can do it. We have people doing it right now. Are they discouraged from time to time? Yes. Do I get discouraged from time to time? Absolutely. But you got to say, so what? So what? I wrote down here, how well you follow through with your plan determines your success. How well you follow through on your plan determines your success. You make things happen only by seeing them through to the end. If your goal is to get this done, and you get discouraged along the way, and then you stop, you won't finish what you started, and therefore it's impossible to be successful. Impossible to be successful. I wrote down here, John Maxwell says there's 2 types of people when it comes to discouragement. Write down splatters and bouncers. This is John Maxwell, okay, business coach, wrote a number of books, said there's 2 types of people when it comes to discouragement. There are splatters and there are bouncers. When a splatter hits bottom, they fall apart and stick to the bottom like glue. Okay? Whoop. That's it. They're done. When a bouncer hits, so a bouncer hits bottom, they pull themselves together, and what do? They bounce back. What are you? Are you a splatter or are you a bouncer? Are you a splatter or are you a bouncer? I wrote down, after 40 years in this business, I know this for a fact. Sometime or another, in the pursuit of our goals, in the pursuit of our goals, in the pursuit of the dreams, in the pursuit of the things that we want for ourselves and our families, that we will be discouraged. It will happen. Sometimes more often than we'd like. Yet it will happen. What are you going to do about it? How hard are you to stop? How hard are you to start? I wrote down here, are you going to give up? Or are you going to get up? Are you going to give up when you get discouraged? Or are you going to get up? Focus on it. Make it happen. A couple paragraphs that I read almost every week to myself. I wanted to share with you right now. It's by Charles Swindoll. I've put it out to you before. Words can never adequately convey the incredible impact of our attitude toward life. He says, the longer I live, the more convinced I become that 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we respond to it. It's not what happens to us that's important, but more importantly, how we respond to that. He says, I believe the single most significant decision I can make on a day-to-day basis is my choice of attitude. I get discouraged, so what? I get discouraged, we all get discouraged, so what? It is more important than my past, my education, my bankroll, my successes or failures, fame or pain, what other people think about me or say about me, my circumstances or my position. Attitude keeps me going or cripples my progress, he says. Attitude keeps him going or cripples his progress. However you want to look at it. You either think you can or you think you can't. Write that down. You think you can, or you think you can't. You're right. Either way. If you think you can do it, or you think you can't do it, you're right. Attitude keeps me going or cripples my progress. It alone fuels my fuel or assaults my hope. When my attitudes are right, there's no barrier too high, he says, no valley too deep, no dream too extreme, or no challenge too great. We all get discouraged. What are you going to do about it? We all get discouraged. We have to start saying, so what? I wrote down here, today matters. Right now, today matters. Today matters on what you're going to do. Today, we will have some discouraging things that will come to us. We'll find out some things that will discourage us. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to say about it? I suggest you write down a big so what and start role-playing that with each other. So what? Because if the buyers don't buy, think about this. If the buyers that you're working with choose not to buy, and you get discouraged, does that stop you? Slow you down for a minute and you continue? What does that do? Because remember, there's not a lot of $16,300 a month jobs out there, okay? So if your goal is $200,000 for the year, you'd better stay focused on the, yeah, I'm going to get discouraged. So what? I am going to be discouraged. So what? If you don't like your life right now, you can change it. I wrote down a good attitude may not be everything. A good attitude may not be the only thing. Yet it's a great start. We need to go out, focus on our job at hand, do the activities that we need to do on a daily, weekly basis. Understand we will run into some things that are discouraging. We're going to run into some things that are exciting. At the end of the day, it's up to you on what you do to make this a great week. Now let's go out and make it happen. Thank you.